Hello, welcome. My name's Jeff Goodwin. This is a very loose watercolour, as you can see. A very loose and free watercolour. Some autumn type trees there in the background. You can see a bit of a mountain there on the right hand side, another sort of a hill on the left hand side there. Trees in the middle, some rocks in the foreground, maybe some water coming around the rocks there as well. So here we go. Just wetting the paper here with a very large watercolour brush. This particular large brush is excellent for doing really big watercolour paintings, like the 22 by 30 inch watercolours that I've been doing recently. That brush is very handy, but also good for wetting the paper as well. This paper I'm using today is A3 size Fabriano paper. This is a mixture of some Prussian blue and a tiny bit of Paynes grey. It doesn't really matter because you won't see much of this anyway, because the trees and the foliage and things like that will be covering most of that up. A little bit of a hill on the left hand side there, using a combination of ultramarine blue and some purple. You can see the board there is tilted on a little bit of an angle there. I want that on an angle. And the paper is not quite dry, but that's okay because I want another sort of a mountain on the side in the background here, but I want it to be very light. I don't want really sharp defined edges on this at all, not on this mountain anyway. See, I've just put in some brown there to create the illusion of a bit of a darker hill coming down on the left-hand side. Those gaps I've got there are where I'm going to put some foliage and just creating a few twiggy-looking trees and branches, spindly-looking type trees. If you can't get out into nature and sit there with your watercolours, then try to find a picture and do it at home. If you haven't tried watercolour, give it a go and keep persisting with it. It's a lot of fun and it can distract you as well. So, you know, if you're feeling stressed out or you have some problems or whatever, just doing a watercolour can really distract you and it can make you feel relaxed as well. Don't worry if it's not turning out the way you think it should turn out, just have fun. Some people say, oh, I can't paint, oh, I could never paint, I could never be an artist. But honestly, what you think may be bad, other people may love, because art is subjective. So don't be so hard on yourself. Just keep painting each and every day if you can, or as often as you can, and have fun. I'm using this rigger brush, R-I-G-G-E-R, just to get these trees down, these very thin trees. That hill on the left has more of a defined line on it, and that's okay, that's what I want. And the one on the right, as you can see, I wanted it to be hazy and blending into the background. So putting some foliage on now, some raw sienna, and I'll be putting a little bit of cadmium yellow in with that soon. And at the base, on the right hand side, the base of that hazy mountain, I'll be putting some raw sienna mixed with some cadmium yellow down there as well, to give the impression of some trees at the base of that mountain on the right hand side. But just filling this in now. I'm not being too particular, I just want this filled in as much as possible. You can see I've just dragged some black over, that's okay. I don't care. I just want this to be loose and free. I don't want it to be bogged down and precise. I just want this to be happening very quickly as we go along. Okay, here we are at the base of this mountain here. Got a long way to go. Still have to do more on those trees. And we've got some rocks in the foreground. It's darkening up into some areas. So a combination of cadmium yellow and raw sienna. On the top there you can see I've got some dark leaf green. So there's a tiny bit of green foliage in there. Putting some more branches in up there. Now down below I'm going to be painting some rocks, but you may not see right to the bottom of the page, but that's okay, you'll see it right at the end. And when this video began you would have seen it as well. The complete page, I mean. But you will see me painting some rocks in, but just not right to the bottom of the page. Just putting a little bit of burnt umber just here with a tiny bit of Paynes grey mixed in with the burnt umber. Just there, yep. Burnt umber there as well. Darken that up just a bit with a bit of raw umber. There we go. We're going to start painting these rocks. There we go. Eventually I'll be putting some Paynes grey for the rocks in the foreground and some of those rocks in the background as well, because it gives it a nice cool look, the Paynes grey. So you can see in those trees some of those colours bleeding out, some of those branches bleeding out. As I said, I don't care. I think that that's okay for the effect I want. Very, very loose, very free. Let the paint do its own thing in some areas. Can't be afraid to experiment, that's for sure. And if you see something and you think, oh gee, I better not try that, I don't think I can do it anyway. You might like your version better. So just painting some of those rocks down there. The masking tape that I'm using to hold this painting on is not the best. I couldn't get my usual masking tape, so this masking tape, I've noticed it tends to let the paint bleed beyond the border, so I'm going to have to get rid of that tape and look for my better masking tape. Putting in just an illusion of some water in there, just a hint. A very shallow mountainous stream perhaps. You know, you may, if you were painting this, you may be thinking, or you may want to put a couple of flecks of yellow in the water to give the illusion of some leaves or some foliage that has fallen from those trees in the background. But I'm not doing that. All right, so we're just about finished. You can see that rock there right in the foreground on the left-hand side. You'll see that entire rock when we show you the final reveal. So we'll take some of that masking tape off, and then I'll show you the final watercolour painting, the whole page that is, because it's on an angle so you're not looking at the whole page there. Okay, so that's it basically. Just very simple steps there. You can see just a light wash for the sky and those mountains either side, one very diffused. on the right hand side, the other one a little bit more defined. And those trees there, those autumn looking trees, and a couple of rocks in the foreground with a hint of some water in there. Could be a mountain stream or anything like that. If you want to subscribe, please do so and click the bell icon. And you'll be notified of any future paintings. So I think that's just about it. All we need to do is just take that masking tape off, and then we'll have our completed painting. There we go. Well, that's it there. Hope you enjoyed that. Thank you for watching. Please subscribe, and we'll get into another watercolour fairly soon. Just very simple, could be a little mountainous stream there. A very loose, very quick, free watercolour. Please subscribe, click the bell icon, and have a great day whatever you're doing. And remember, don't be afraid to try, pick up that brush and just keep painting. Bye for now.